My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2 and the Japanese themed series in Hokkaido. Now there's been a bit of a snafu between episodes insofar as I attempted to record this episode and I had a power cut which wiped off the recording, and the game had auto-saved about partway through, so there's been some changes between this episode and the previous one due to the autosave kicking in. So what we're going to do first of all is briefly look at those changes that were meant to be incorporated into this episode but have ended up being done off camera. Now it's nothing too drastic. I think the major change that I did manage to get done was a new freight line, and we'll look at that in a few moments time. So today we're starting in Yawatahama because that's where most of the changes were focused on, the big changes anyway. So we want to get those out of the way first of all. So let's just zoom out from street level. Now up there we can see the sawmill for Yawatahama, and we can see that we have a truck station in position, and we have a good handful of trucks on this line delivering down the lumber from Wakayama Forest all the way down to the lumber mill to be processed into planks. There are 100 vehicles running this line, and it's got a decent enough balance. If we look here, it's a nice profitable line, and we've got a pretty much 50-50 split between empty vehicles and fully loaded vehicles, and we have a frequency of 13 seconds, which is very nice indeed. The planks haven't been sent for onward delivery yet, but we do have a 2-platform station here, so that's ready to go, and obviously we're going to be bringing them down into this machinery factory here at Yawatahama. And in fact what we'll do is just quickly rename this to Yawatahama Machinery Factory. So we're ready to bring the planks down, of course. Now I did touch on the idea of perhaps shipping them in through here to this sawmill here, but as we can see in the end I've opted to use this run. I have put in a couple of custom tunnels through the mountainside through here, which cuts out this rather lengthy detour here, and similarly from this point here up to here is another tunnel which cuts out this unnecessary detour as well. So that's really cut down on the travel time for those vehicles, which is really helping the throughput and obviously helping our company's bottom line. Other changes that I've made is I've made a start on putting a cargo station down for the Yawatahama steel mill. No lines connected into it as of yet, and what I'm planning on doing is obviously having one line come in for the iron, one come in for the coal, and then the steel that gets produced we'll actually just run it down on this road here. Nope, not that road there. We'll run it down into the steel mill, sorry, into the machinery factory via some road vehicles, some trucks, rather than trying to squeeze in a small shunt line. We'll just use the roads. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Before we do that, a couple other changes. If we pick on this train here, we can see that we now have the Russian class PV, which is a new train unlock, and we also unlocked the Farley as well, as we can see, which could be quite useful for some heavy duty freight lines. I think there was one other major change that's well worth discussing, and we need to head over to Uwajima for this if we don't get lost, which we have done. No, here we are. Now what we've done is, or what I've done I should say, is I've put a tram line in through Uwajima, because what I did notice here is a lot of people at this station on bus service 01 are primarily heading to Ono Street, as we can see. So this metro line runs from the Central Exchange to Ono Street and then onto the station, and then that's it. It's just a free stop line. And the idea is to eventually encourage them to start using the metro rather than the bus service, and it gets some of these people shifted to their onward destination. The station isn't overcrowded, although it certainly looks like it is with all the people, but because of these buildings here, we've increased our passenger capacity, so they're not complaining or being vaporized just yet. And here's one of our trams right now. We can see it's the Ivan, which is clearly a steam-powered tram, and that's chugging along quite nicely for us. I don't know if it's a profitable line. Yeah, just about. But we're not really concerned about that. It is easy mode, of course. The Russian class PV has also been put onto the stone freight lines, and I've also made another change down here as well. This road from the rice fields up in the mountains now comes underneath the freight line, as we can see, so they're not having to stop at the level crossing every time a train is entering or leaving Iwanamori station, which is really useful. It keeps things flowing that little bit smoother. Okay, I do think that's all the major changes that I had done when I came to record this episode the first time around. So that's where we are, so we can press on today. Now what I'd like to do is first of all get a line bringing these pre-cut planks down into the machinery factory down here. Once that's set up, we'll look at connecting this up into the coal mine, or the iron mine, which is up here, as well as the coal mine as well. Hopefully we might get a chance to do both in the one episode, but if not, we should at least aim for the iron mine, because that is the closer of the two. But before we start on that, as I said, let's get some deliveries running down here, shall we? So we're going to need a truck station down here, of course, so let's get one of those. And we will go for... we'll make it quite large, actually. We'll go for 4 platforms, because not only do we need the planks coming in, we also need the steel as well, as and when we start producing up here. But other than that, we also need to get the machinery out up to here, because this is where it's going to be shipped out from. So this is going to be a bit of an exchange freight yard, rather than extending the freight line down to here, which would just be too difficult with this terrain. So yeah, that's the plan. So let's get this put down somewhere. Now I don't care about the terraforming, because we can always deal with that ourselves after the fact. What I'd like to do though is make sure we have a connection, which at the minute I'm struggling to get. So I think what I'm going to do is actually just flatten some of the terrain off here, and it's going to cost a small fortune to do this. In fact, that road can go. We don't need that as it is. Yeah, let's give ourselves a nice area, and then let's pop him just here, right at the back. We'll rename this to the Yawatahama Machinery Factory, like that. And in fact, while we're here, we may as well chuck a couple of these cargo buildings down as well, just to increase the capacity. Fantastic. Right, now we can look at connecting it to the street network. Well, that was simple enough, no problems there. Just smooth off some of that terraforming that we just had to do, just so it doesn't look quite so artificial. That looks a little better. Okay, so now that that's done, we can actually set up the new line to bring the planks down here. So we're going to be running from Yawatahama Lumber Mill, and we're coming down to Yawatahama Machinery Factory. We'll have it this colour, which is kind of lumber coloured. Fully loaded with unlimited wait time, picking up planks, and down here you're not loading anything, but you are unloading the planks. Let's just make sure you're using the right platform up at the lumber mill. Yes, you are, but what I'm going to do is have you leave via that waypoint there, so there's no turning around inside the truck station at the lumber mill. We can give this a name, and this will be lumber haulage, or no, planks haulage I think would be better. So planks haulage, and this is purely Yawatahama. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and get some trucks ordered for this. We're not going to need 100 like I put on the logging line, And I'm going to say we'll go for... I'm going to say 40, because why not? And we'll use this one because it is compatible with the planks. So 1.3 milli, we have 7 in the bank, so that's not a concern. Give them the correct line colour and send them on their way. So we should now start seeing planks being produced up here. Not yet. Oh, yes, we do have some. Yeah, we're going to be shipping 93, and as we can see, that's increasing all the while. So yeah, now they're starting to appear on the platform, so that's good. That's working fine. With that set up, then we can leave that to sort itself out and tend to its own spacing. And what we can do now is think about getting this freight station here connected into this line. It's not going to run on the passenger line, of course, it's going to run parallel with it, but we want to make sure it looks at least reasonably tidy. So the first thing we'll do is if we put a little strip of track just there, and we can use that as our baseline to come out from. And we'll do something like that. This, I don't care so much about the speed, to be honest. But I might get it as, nope, there we go. We'll go for, yeah, about 30 is going to be okay. And then what we want as well is a crossover here. And again, I'm not overly concerned about any slowdown at this crossover. It's going to be okay. There we go. So now we've got a diamond. So the trains can go to that platform straight on or veer off into this outer platform. And likewise, if they're coming from here, they can get over. They can get over, and here it's a straight shot onto the left-hand side because it's left-hand traffic on our lines. So there we go. That's the start of our freight line. And as I've been mentioning all along as we were building this passenger line, we are just going to have it run parallel with the passenger line. So for a while we're going to have at least a 3-track line here. What's going off there? You're not quite snapped in parallel, I don't think you are. Okay, now you should be. Yes, that's better. Just trying to draw a distinct bridge there rather than just extending the existing bridge that we have. So that's all sorted. So it's just going to run up here, and let's just zoom out and get a feel for where we are headed and how we want to get there. So we're aiming for this iron mine. So I think what we do is, in fact, first of all, let's go ahead and put down our station for the iron mine. And once again, we are going to use 3 platforms here. 2 are just going to be passed through for onward travel to the coal mine, and 1 is going to be for iron ore collection. So let's see here. So 320 meters. I think if we just have this, what's the terrain like there? It's quite hilly, but we can again just quickly flatten a bit of an area out for us to work with around here. That's better. Obviously we will blend it out once we are done, but it just makes placing the station building at a level much easier. Let's try that. Okay, that's used up pretty much all of our funds, so we can't afford this just yet. Well, I think we might be better off on this side of the mine with a direct connection, and then the line would come through here, obviously tunnel through here. We'd pass the farm, but we'd follow this valley here on towards Wakayama, and we'd have the line join up somewhere along here. But we can tend to that a little bit later. Let's just put it onto 4 times game speed there, just to accumulate funds a little bit faster, so we're not waiting around too much. So yes, the plan is to have this somewhere like this. half. There we go. So that's going to cost us 900, so about 1,000,000 yen, which shouldn't take, hopefully, too long to accumulate. And as soon as we have accumulated, of course, we will go ahead and... Oh, there it is right now. We'll go ahead and construct the station. So this is Shinjo Iron Mine. And we need to rename this as well to Shinjo Iron Mine. Perfect. Okay, so now for the tracks. I don't think we're going to be able to afford this because it's going to be quite a bit of tunnel work. However, what we can do is continue with this bit, because even though we're going to be utilizing some bridges, they are going to be cheaper because we already have bridges in place. So let's do that. Let's bring these out. How far do we want to go? I would say we deviate in this area here, and the freight line will head up here, as I said, through the valley, past the farm, through the mountain, and then to the iron ore mine. So let's see if we can do this nicely, shall we? Well, we have a bridge pillar collision just here, as we can see. Okay. Well, let's just reroute this road, or let's get the bridge constructed, and then we'll put the road in to fit around the bridge as best we can. So, like that. So again, we can't afford that. Now we can. Wonderful. The road can wait for a little while longer. I'd rather get as much of this train line done as we can. So remembering, of course, this is our freight line, or what will be our freight line very soon. We're going to share this tunnel here if we can afford it right now. We might not be able to, no. Although it's not too expensive, as we can see. Around about 500,000, which shouldn't take too long at all to accumulate. And then we'll do the same, obviously, here. And then at that point, the line is going to cross over the passenger line before heading up through the valley, as we discussed just a few moments ago. Let's just give the game a couple of minutes to give us some nice money to work with. And in fact, better idea. I did pay off quite a bit of the loan, so rather than wait around, let's just go ahead and max out our credit facility once again to 10 million and just get this done as quick as we can. We've got the OB and the Putilov unlocked, as we can see there. We might not look at them in this episode, but we'll bear them in mind for our future upgrades and selecting trains to run on this iron ore delivery line. So far so good. We've got 8.7 mil, should be perfectly fine, although I don't think it's gonna be enough to put the tunnel in that we want. Right, so let's just concentrate on, first of all, jumping over the passenger line. So I'll get that as close as we can, like that. And then you're immediately coming away. And we want you to stay level there, just so we have a decent enough junction. In fact, it might need to come up just a touch, so let's get rid of that. Okay, it's not changing anything there. Let's see, how does that look? That's tolerable. Yeah, it's quite good actually. And then we'll have another come off here like this. And then these should quite happily run parallel through this valley. Yep, perfect. So there we go. So where are we headed? I think at this point we'll just single track this. So let's get the line somewhere up here. Okay, we've already started some tunnel work there, as we can see. Well, that's going up 20 meters over 300 meters. Okay, and as you can see, the ground does climb up quite steeply here. We might just have to go for a big stretch out like that. Maybe something like that will do. And all of this will remain single tracked for the time being. Let's put a tunnel mouth there. So that's 2.6 million. We can afford it, that's fine. And then here, as I said, what we'll do is we'll just have it just before it goes into the tunnel. We'll merge it into a single line, just to save a bit of money, of course, on the tunnels that we're having to build here. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll cross this road here. Excuse me, Mr. Bear, you're in the way. We'll have it go straight and true. It's made a mess of the road, but that's inconsequential for the large part. Do we want a tunnel or do we want a cutting? Looking at that, we want the tunnel. Okay, that's fine. Now we have this painted terrain river here which we need to navigate without messing everything up. So let's see if we can get a bridge over there, staying straight and true. Yes, we can. And then bring this to there. That looks pretty decent. I'm happy enough with that. And then you're going to come off this way. What height level is this station at? Let's just get the contour lines up and have a look. So we are around about 165, and down here we are at 153. So we want to be climbing up to around about 165 as we're doing this. Let's see if we can get it to, oh, there we go, 166. Which way are we headed? So pretty much from here on out, it looks like we're going to have a big old tunnel. Now you want to stay, in fact, that's climbing up too high. Let's get you to stay around about 165. Ooh. There we go, 166 to 165. That's fine. Make sure we actually have a tunnel selected there. 12 million. That's an almighty tunnel, but it's an almighty mountain ridge that we're ploughing on through, so I suppose it's understandable. Although we'll be able to afford it pretty quickly looking at this. We're at 11.5 million at the moment, so it shouldn't take long. In fact, there we go, 12 million. That's now sorted. Now, we can't afford the last little connection, as we can see, 17,000, we're 500 in the red, but that'll soon change, I have no doubt about it. We can get rid of the contour layer now. Let's have a look at this tunnel, shall we, as we're waiting for the money. Oh, we have the money, let's not look at the tunnel. There we go. So at this point, oh, do we have a tunnel mouth on that? Yes, we do. At this point, now we can set up the line to bring down the iron ore into the steel mill. Now this station does have a connection to the steel mill, as we can see, so we don't need any intermediate delivery vehicles to finish off, so we may as well just go ahead and whack in this line here from there to there, and you are going to be iron, so you want to be that colour. Now you're going backwards and forwards on the same line there. We need to put some signals in, but let's name this up first of all. And this is iron ore freight Shinjo to Yao. I'll put Yawat, just so it's not too long of a line name. Right, as I said, we want to put some signals down here to make sure we're going on the correct line, the left hand side. I have to think of my words then. So if we put one-way signal there protecting that junction, and we'll have another one all the way down here. I mean, for now we're not going to have many trains running down here anyway, but that's going to be enough to make the train use the correct lines, which it now is. In terms of passing signals, we'll have a couple, perhaps one just here for one intermediate block, and then I say we have another one here like that, and that should do there. We're going to need some signals here as well, just before we're coming in from this direction approaching the junction, so a signal there. And you now go single tracked from there, so you need one there. Do we need anything in the interim? I'll put one down, I think, just for an extra block, but I don't think we'll need it. Just like so. So that line is now all doing what we wanted it to do. So what we can do is full load all, maximum wait time, and obviously you're loading iron. Down here you're not bringing anything back, but you are dropping off the iron. So what platform have you elected to use down here? Not that it really matters. That one. Okay, well that's fine. But you may as well just use... Oh, that's the wrong station. You may as well use platform 3. No, platform 1. There we go. Okay. Now we should just be able to... In fact, we will be able to use our passenger train depot to purchase the freight train for this, which, if I recall correctly, is this one right here. So buying vehicles. So we got the OB, which does 37 miles per hour. Our wagons are limited to 31. What's the power? 441 and 95 kilowatts, 360. Yeah, okay, so this is a powerful train, and it's going into the mountains, so it would fit in quite nicely with that. So let's go ahead and use the OB for this, and at least it gives us a chance to have a look at that train. In terms of wagons, we want cargo and we want gondolas. We could go 70 capacity and still has a good rating, and it's hitting 31 miles an hour for flat and medium grades, dropping to 23 on a high. What if we go for 8? 31. Well, we'll go for the 10. 3.6 million. We can't afford 2 right now, but we're not too far off, so we'll just hang around for a few moments and we will purchase 2 straight away. In fact, what we want to do, and this will help waste a bit of time, is we want to colour the wagons the same colour as the line, so that orange there. So boost that back to 10, 7.2 million, perfect. Now we need to head back to somewhere where we can see the line on our view, which will be over here somewhere. Where are you? Getting very lost. There we go, Shinjo, that's the one. So away they come. Right, I think we'll leave it there for today then. I'm a bit pressed for time at the moment, so you'll have to forgive me for that. And what we'll do in the next episode is we'll finish off this line up to the iron ore mine, and at that point we can start producing the steel. So we'll get the steel shipped down to the machinery factory, and then we'll see about getting a line from here all the way back into Uejima to deliver the machines. Obviously, as I said, we will need to get the machines from here to here, but that shouldn't be a problem. We're going to be having vehicles dropping off steel anyway, so they may as well pick up some machines on their way back, and that will be absolutely fine. So for today's outro, I think it's got to be, of course, this new line we have just set up. So running from the station to the iron ore mine. So as soon as one of our trains gets to the station over here, we'll pick up the cab ride outro. While we're waiting for that to arrive, it's going to take a little while, of course. It's got a fair old journey to get down here. We shall say our goodbyes. So of course, as always, thank you very much for watching. Your support and patronage is always much appreciated and highly welcome, so thank you very much one and all for that. City Skylines will continue in the next couple of days, hopefully, and we'll continue on with that because that's proving quite fun to do, at least to record. Anyway, it might be rubbish to watch, but I enjoy playing it and I enjoy recording it, so you will have to suffer for the art. And it's not even art, it's absolute rubbish. I'm one of the least creative people you could ever hope to imagine, so building pretties is a bit of a challenge for me, shall we say. I always have a nice idea in my mind, but getting it down into reality or virtual reality, that's a different matter. So yes, all that remains for me to say is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take very good care of yourselves. When our iron ore train gets down here, we'll pick it up, and it's just there right now. But yeah, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.